Hello and welcomes back everyone, and Wolf here with even more Star Wars The Old Republic, playing as Ciaphas Cain here, my Jedi Knight, here on the world of Taris. We are here at Waystation Draay, and in the last part we were helping most people with their needs, with the tasks they needed someone to complete. We do have a rakghoul serum sample, which we do need to return or take to the good doctor behind us there. Before we get started, we reach level 35 near the end of the last part of the series. As such, it did move us into the next section of the discipline tree. We briefly went over the changes of the infiltration shadow, but I thought we'd play a little bit with the tanking, the kinetic combat discipline. As such, we also learned force slow, which is the same for the infiltration discipline, but we gained two different abilities. We've gained one with the force, which increases the rate of our force regeneration by 30%, and also increases our internal and elemental damage reduction by 10%. So like infiltration, when you have that Shadow's Respite ability, when you come out of cloak, or when you use your Shadow Strike, you do gain force regeneration, but this is just permanent, which is perfect, which is ideal. And we also gained Kinetic Ward. Erects a Kinetic Ward with 15 charges. Each charge increases your shield chance by 18%. Every time your shield will activate, you will lose one charge. Well, each charge doesn't increase your shield regeneration, your shield chance. Your shield chance is increased. So, we activate this some form of rock wall around us. And our shield generation now, I believe, yeah, 38%. So, in essence, when we're being attacked, there's a 13% chance we'll simply dodge an attack. Then there's a 38% chance that our shield will activate and migrate 27% of the damage, or mitigate, I should say. And then, either way, we're mitigating 33% of that damage due to our armor rating. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. We're just going to have to remember to keep our shield up. And keep an eye on the charges, perhaps. Okay. Let's go see the good doctor. Hand over the sample we have.
Welcome back. Let's get those serum samples analyzed and see what we've got. Well, thank the Force for good Tarisian storage technology. I wasn't sure anything would still be viable after 3 centuries. While we wait, is there a cost to these samples I should be aware of? A deal with a pirate crew, perhaps?
No problems. I found some stashed away for a rainy century.
You make it sound so easy. Ah, here we are. Fortunately, the plague is so virulent it cultures very rapidly. Bad news. The serum you recovered looks like it was effective 300 years ago, but the rakghoul plague has mutated since then. This serum will only provide effective immunity for extraordinarily healthy individuals.
How do we make it stop modern rakghouls?
Manufacturing a true vaccine requires what we call a lucky survivor, someone whose system has made antibodies to the plague. We haven't had a survivor yet, for obvious reasons, but this serum might provide the link we need. If I infected an extraordinary individual protected by the serum, I could collect the antibodies and make an effective vaccine.
What happened to the most virulent disease in known space?
I need someone with proven recuperative powers. Someone who gets injured almost on a daily basis. Ideally, they would have survived stabbings, shootings, poison, infections. Maybe all of the above. Or barring that, someone with conscious control over their bodily processes, such as a Jedi.
I see how you're looking at me. I'm doing a pose at the moment. Just sort of proud, chest out. Yes.
Doctor, I don't get a chance to save 1 billion lives every day. I'm in.
Well, and I had this whole speech ready. All right, we have a medical droid, CB-084, set up to observe rakghouls in the field. He'll be able to collect the antibodies and slow any potential complications. After I give you the serum, go out there and test it. Let the rakghouls attack you and see what happens.
You don't have this plague in a needle or something?
If it needs to work in the field, it needs to work in the field. Now, here's your serum injection. I hope the Force is with you, because the science is stretched to the limit.
Oh, great. So, yeah. We now need to go find a rakghoul and, ask it to politely bite us. Great. And then hope that our body will start creating antibodies to fight off the mutated rakghoul plague. T7, why don't you aid by healing me, keeping me alive? Because this sounds like a stupid idea. Come on. Nope, nope, come and attack. That was the wrong button to press. Whoops. Oh, there you go. This red rakghoul, the ferocious rakghoul, was more than willing to take a chunk out of our flesh. You have survived contracting the infection and now must seek treatment from the doctor's droid, CB-084. We are going to be passing by a heroic mission. I may come back and clear it later, but for now, let's go get our treatment first. There is a forward or another way station just down this road here. We've just entered the Brel sediment. This Republic captain.
I see your infection is progressing. Hold still while I take samples for analysis. While I transmit the data to Dr. Cell, there are some questions I should ask. Do you have any of the following symptoms? Dizziness, fever, shortness of breath, and inexhaustible hunger for sentient flesh?
Can you do anything about these cuts? I'm losing blood here.
I'm sorry, my core function is in analysis, not trauma care. Ah, here's Dr. Cell.
Good news. Your antibody count is off the charts. I'll start work on a vaccine immediately. You are remarkably brave. Our progress has just jumped forward by years. While you recuperate, I'm going to transmit the usual secrecy agreements. Just use your thumbprint to sign on the sensor.
I'm not exactly clear on what you're talking about.
This is standard procedure when the Republic develops biotech with significant earnings potential. We develop the vaccine for Republic soldiers first, and when it's proven, sell it to colonists. Until then, it's under wraps. We don't want the Exchange or the Sith funding some horrible operation with an underground version.
Lives will be lost while this profit is being made.
Tell me something I don't know. Every week we hear another rakghoul horror story. But every colonist on the planet is going to want this vaccine. How do I tell my superiors we gave up that kind of money?
If you get a sample to the Jedi, I bet they'd find someone to make it fast.
I'll keep that in mind. We'll get this cure out one way or another. Thanks for putting yourself on the line for this. Would have taken years to do it the safe way. I don't know if Taris will ever be what it was, but now, at least, there's hope.
Huh, he was fairly easy to convince. Oh, we're starting to get the Tarisian Protector armor set. Oh, companion gift.
You are alive. Our business is concluded.
Thanks, yeah. Be a shame if I wasn't alive, wouldn't it? Right. Who to speak to next? Obviously, we are now in the Braille Sediment. We could, of course, go searching for the good Dr. Gadara.
What do you think, Khan?
The foundation of the Taris ChemWorks factory cannot be repaired. I expect total collapse within 2 weeks. Once the building falls, the stored chemicals will flood this area. They are highly toxic to humans. I am sorry.
I'll make sure there are speeders on hand, but we can't just pack up and go. Do what you can.
As always, I will pursue an alternative. Master Jedi, forgive my inattentiveness. I am honored by your presence, though I advise you not to stay long.
You were talking about evacuation. What's going on?
Many of these ruins are unstable. A nearby structure used for chemical storage is on the verge of crumbling. As I was explaining to my colleague, there is only one way to remove the chemicals before they spill. A burn-off. A well-armed demolitions team could reach the structure and incinerate the chemical stockpiles. I can provide the incendiaries. Unfortunately, no team is available.
You want to plant explosives around a building that's about to collapse?
Between the structural instability, the toxicity levels, and the incendiary chemicals, the mission does carry substantial risk. It is nonetheless urgent. You are not a demolitions team, I fully recognize this. But if you could arrange the burn-off, I would humbly welcome your aid.
Okay. So we've been given some explosives.
Master Jedi, please excuse my abruptness. The Republic told me you might be able to help with a difficult situation. They say you are a most reliable operative on Taris. Have you heard anything about titroxinate being sold on the black market?
What's titroxinate?
Titroxinate was the pre-patent name for the weaponized agent we think was responsible for the rakghoul plague. The Empire could fashion it into a terrible weapon, turning us soldiers into monsters and setting them against us.
Where's the arms dealer who's selling this stuff?
I'm more worried about his source. Trace the original titroxinate samples to an old ChemWorks factory. It's overrun with Nexu. We can't get near it. If you can retrieve any canisters that remain, the Republic will see you're well rewarded for your effort.
Huh. It just so happens we're actually heading to the same ChemWorks factory anyhow. The captain or the commander in charge of this base would also like to have a word. Why don't we have a chat with him later? Let's head over and into the ChemWorks factory first. Oh, that looks like where we need to be. Unfortunately, it seems there are pirates between us and our destination. And we have some patrolling hostile wildlife. We have some droids here. Why are they here? What are they up to? Let's see if they're hostile. Yep. Seems they certainly were. In fact, so much so, we have a bonus to deal with some of them. I'm guessing they've been here possibly since the destruction of Taris, or the pirates brought them over and lost control. Any other droids nearby? There are a few. Looks like someone may have been dealing with these droids as well as ourselves. This group weren't here earlier, because I don't think they were. There we are. Into the ChemWorks factory we go. This is actually a heroic mission for players of the Empire. Bonus to deal with 20 of the rakghouls. Looks like we have the Jedi Sentinel here, the Consular, claiming one area. There are two, like, pathways within the ChemWorks factory. Since one Jedi's going one way, we'll go the other. Then we're not fighting over the chemicals. Really? There's the stockpile we need to burn off, at least one of them. And there's the bonus for dealing with all the rakghouls here. No toxins to burn off in this room. There's a bypass this group. Any chemicals to burn in this room? Yes, there is. Let's gain a bit of mail there. Have to have a look at that once we get over to the Brel Waystation. Okay. Need one more toxic stockpile to burn off. One more canister. Perfect. Okay. Everything's going well. I might as well go report our success.
These are all the canisters I was able to recover.
Thank you. The Republic thanks you. Imagine how horrific it would be if the rakghoul nightmare had spread to the rest of the galaxy. Please, take this for your service.
Yeah, about that. Didn't we already hear there's like 81 colonies that have been infected?
I can smell chemicals on you, but I also smell fire and smoke. Did you complete the burn-off? All the toxins and pollutants have been incinerated?
Without a doubt.
Nothing could please me more. Thank you. The structure will still collapse, but it shall leave no poison in its wake. Perhaps we can rebuild the area after all.
You are welcome. Okay, who's sending us mail? Ah! This is, yeah, this is Sarah, who was looking into the ancestry, protectiveness of the rakghouls. Spoken to the Reconstruction Authority about their discovery. Everyone is in agreement that the rakghouls possess some basic level of intelligence, just enough to remember and value what was once important. But rakghouls aren't people, and we can't forget how many of us they've killed, or how many innocents they transformed as they rampaged after the Tarisian bombardment. Yeah, everyone agrees it's time to wipe the rakghouls out.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
And let's go see the Commander, Waystation Draay. You know what, I don't think I've ever been upstairs.
Master Jedi, what brings you to our small corner of Republic space? This is such a great, great honor.
Even a forgotten planet can harbor dark secrets.
Well, whatever brings you here, I suggest you don't stay long. We barely got stores enough for our station soldiers, much less visitors. At this rate, I've got men scalping ration cubes for a half-week's salary.
I can't believe the Republic sent you out here without sufficient supplies.
Oh, we get supplies. Every month. Shipped in from Ord Mantell. Problem is, this month's ship went nose down in some of the worst territory on Taris. It'll take another month before the next one arrives. And in the meantime, my men are stewing their gloves.
Is the ship lost? Why haven't your men recovered the supplies?
Our men tried to reach the ship once, but they turned back after taking serious casualties. They said it's more than just rakghouls, but couldn't make an ID. If you still want to go, you'll need to talk to our quartermaster at the supply shed across the base. She's got the exact coordinates of the crash.
Okay, we can look into that, certainly. Something different or worse than the rakghouls, you say?
And you're just going to make this all better, huh?
Usually, people are happy if I come to make things better.
I'm Karen Weck, Quartermaster. Commander Gardet just called to say you're retrieving our supplies. For which, by the way, I and the rest of the troops here humbly thank you. But I don't want Commander Fatpants to think it means he gets away with this. Steal from your troops, waste Republic money bringing in silks and wine from Alderaan, and it's fine, because some wandering Jedi will happen in to save you.
That's a serious accusation.
I said over and over that the ship needed repairs. The left stasis generator was loose, and the hyperdrive motivator was seeping fluid. But Gardet had already spent our allotted maintenance budget on himself.
Putting his men at risk for his own indulgences is a grievous misuse of authority.
And then some. But he simply slashed the rations budget in half and figures it's over. The men are starving. And starving men don't hold up well against creatures where one tiny scratch could lead to a base-wide epidemic. If you can take this holo camera out to the crash site, you could get the evidence I need to get him court-martialed.
When you put it that way, how can I refuse?
Thank you. If you take holopics of the engine, I can show that the documented lack of repairs is what caused the crash. The most important thing is the supplies, though. The crash site isn't far. When you get everything, Bring it back here so I can distribute it.
Okay.
Get those pictures, and I promise we'll bring Commander Gardet to justice.
Sounds like a worthy cause. The crash site isn't too far away from the ChemWorks factory, actually. Just a little bit easier to get to. We'll just have to be prepared for whatever the soldiers consider worse than rakghouls. Because rakghouls are pretty damn bad. And there's the ship. Yeah, definitely went nose first, it seems. Why are bog stalkers considered worse than rakghouls by the soldiers? Oh, reset time. Is it that time already? Increases all valor gained. If we end up doing some PvP, that might be useful. Why are bog stalkers considered worse? One of the many ancient species from the planet Taris' prehistory fought extinct until rediscovery. It turns out that the bog stalkers had survived for millennia beneath Taris' sprawling undercity, and in the post-bombardment wreckage, the bog stalker has thrived as its natural swampy habitat has spread. Remarkably, the pollutants of the destruction of Taris have only made the bog stalker even more resilient, as its own flesh is now poisonous to most predators, even to rakghouls. Oh, I see. Yeah, that would make them pretty bad. If creatures end up dying, they'll learn quick. Start gathering some of the supplies. I was hoping Jurgen was going to pull them all together again. Let's pull the camera out. I think it's a snapshot right there. And back to Waystation Draay we go.
We don't have antibiotics. They come on the same ship as everything else.
You're supposed to keep better tabs on that sort of thing. These men have the Cillian flu. They could die if... Master Jedi, dare I hope you've made it to our ship?
No number of beasts could have kept me from aiding these men.
Your order is known for its mercy. Thank you for coming to our aid. The men came close to mutiny when I cut rations again. They knew this wasn't going to be a luxury cruise.
What do you expect? You ask your men to starve while you eat bantha steaks from off-world.
These pictures prove you knew the ship was damaged, and you sent it anyway.
They're going to Republic Command, along with my documentation of every personal purchase you've made. These men left their families and risked their lives to come here. If they die, it should be for someone better than you.
I didn't know the ship was so bad. I thought if it was serious, they'd catch it on Ord Mantell.
The men on Taris deserve a better leader.
This is ridiculous. I did nothing wrong. Republic Command will never listen to you. I need to call them.
Thank you for all your help. But there may be something else, too. Normally, our 4th outpost comes here to pick up its supplies. But their convoy never arrived this month. I'm afraid something happened. They need to be found.
Just tell me where to look.
You've got to be the best friend these soldiers ever had. The route between the outposts runs along Lake Brel. Not the best planning. There's rakghouls there, and a Nexus spawning ground, and worse. Usually the convoy's managed by only traveling when the sun is highest. Plus lots and lots of firepower. But if they're out there too long, well, you need to find them.
Every moment we delay risks their lives. I'll leave right now.
Whatever happened to the convoy, we need to make sure Morn Outpost gets their supplies. Sonic emitters along the route usually keep off the worst of the critters. But if they're on the fritz, that convoy would have walked into a feeding frenzy. Fix the emitters and see what you can find about the convoy. When you're done, report to Commander Yajek at Morn Outpost. And thank you.
So a convoy from Morn Outpost was due here to pick up supplies. Hasn't arrived yet. Find out what happened. And then report to one of the base commanders. Seems fairly straightforward. And we did indeed retrieve... Sorry. We did actually have someone else send us another bit of mail. Oh. Dr. Rim. Remember that time you snuck into the Deathclaw pirate camp and met the local medic? Remember how he convinced you not to subject his patients to a horrible rakghouli death by stealing his vaccine supply? That was me. How's things with you? I wasn't always with the Deathclaws, you know. I won't give you the whole sob story, but I'm here now because these guys took me in. They're my brothers. Brothers who are jerks, true. But jerks sometimes deserve a chance too, you know. Anyway, I owe you one. There's talk of pulling out of Taris, and I hope it happens. You ever find yourself in the wrong place and need to get patched up? Let me know. Huh. Well, I'll admit there is opportunities in the future where we might encounter the Deathclaw pirates. Maybe we'll encounter the good doctor again.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Excellent. Okay. This is a perfect place to take a break once again. When we come back, we'll be heading towards the ChemWorks factory once again, but turning left this time and heading into another of Dr. Kadera's bases. Hopefully we've gotten there before the Empire. Perfect timing as well. I have just been gifted food. Hot food at that. I'm going to go enjoy. Thank you all for joining me once again. As always, feel free to leave a comment if you so wish. And hopefully I'll see you for even more next time. Until then, though, take care. Bye-bye now.